beheld Satan as he fell from the ground like lightning.
Cast. And one thing I would recommend to you to watch, Noah, and to our viewers at home, I've recommended to you before, readily available on YouTube because they haven't released it on DVD yet.
Maniac Mansion.
Maniac Mansion.
Maniac Mansion. Maniac Mansion.
A YTV show based on the classic adventure game,
You
yes.
just stole my thunder.
Sorry.
That's okay. Maniac Mansion. For where was I going with that? Oh yeah, Maniac Mansion is on. You can watch almost all the episodes. I think it's like 3 seasons on YouTube. But I would challenge you to watch maybe 1 episode, Noah. What do you think?
I'll take a look at the first episode tomorrow.
Like Maniac Man, yes, like Noah said, it aired in Canada. This is off the top of my head, but I'm gonna Google it too. Maniac Mansion aired in Canada in that sweet time slot after you went to bed at 11 on YTV. That was me as a kid. And
The cool kids hour on YTV.
I'll never forget the day I actually stayed awake, and I watched Maniac Mansion like after 11 o'clock, and I was like, "What is this show? It's so wild, it's so wacky." Little did I know until like later on, I realized Maniac Mansion was actually a LucasArts game. And my first time playing Maniac Mansion, it was on the Commodore 64.
Oh,
the
nice.
dirtier version, the Nintendo version. Maniac Mansion was already one of my beloved games.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started researching Maniac Mansion about the show. I'm like, maybe it's just a coincidence, I thought, right? There's a show called Maniac Mansion and there's a game. But no, in actuality, Maniac Mansion, if you watch the show, gives credit to, this is based on the LucasArts game, Maniac Mansion. But funny enough, it had nothing to do with the source material. Isn't that so typical?
Neither did the Street Fighter movie, but it's still called Street Fighter.
Yeah, that had a little. I think Street Fighter movie had more relation to the source material than Maniac Mansion had to the game.
Well, at least it had Kylie Minogue as Cammy, so that was something.
That's from my era too, Noah. Jeez.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Raul Julia's M. Bison either. Such a great performance.
Definitive, Noah. That's the definitive.
That is how M. Bison should be portrayed.
My friends and I still quote M. Bison to this day.
And I beheld Satan as he fell from the ground like lightning.
He did that so. You did not even do that justice, Noah.
I can't do
a fraction of Raul Julia. A fraction.
Look it up on YouTube, folks. It is one of the greatest performances ever committed to celluloid.
I love it. But anyways, back to Maniac Mansion.
Right.
Notably on the show, Joe Flaherty. You know him, Joe Flaherty?
He was on that? Huh.
He played the dad. Unlike the game, he's not a alien meanie kidnapping your girlfriend. On the show, he's actually a really nice dad, scientist.
So he's basically a sitcom dad.
Yes, in the crazy world of Maniac Mansion. I don't want to give too much of it away. Also, Kathleen Robertson, if you remember her from Scary Movie 3.
Oh my goodness, she was on Maniac Mansion?
Oh yeah, man. That's where I actually had a crush on her before she was on that Scary Movie. This when I saw her again, but I remember Maniac Mansion. I was like, yeah, that girl's cute.
Nate's childhood crushes: Xena, Kelly Bundy, and the chick from Maniac Mansion.
Oh, we should totally do a list of that next podcast.
Yeah.
Though. List of childhood crushes.
So many of mine are going to be animated. It's kind of embarrassing. Oh, well.
Interestingly enough, one of the writers on the show, who I think he makes a guest cameo in a later episode, Eugene Levy.
No way! Eugene Levy wrote Maniac Mansion?
He wrote for that. He's in the credits in the first season. You saw him there. I caught that when I was watching the show. So a lot of SCTV people.
Oh my goodness, that's a Canadian icon right there.
Obviously, this is a Canadian heavy show, heavy influence. Well, obviously, it was written in Canada, I guess. It's a different take on the Maniac Mansion game. If you haven't played the game, you're not really missing out anything on the show. It's a nice memento. It's a nice capture of 90s, 90s tropes, 90s life. Report back what you thought about it on our next podcast episode. Deal?
Deal.
And what about you? What do you think people should check out or do, or what have you?
I have a very simple recommendation. It's an anime. It's an older anime from the 80s. It's on Netflix.
You.
It's.
All right, go ahead. I'm just kidding.
It's Robotech.
Robotech?
Robotech.
Wow.
One of the defining shows of like the early anime era. Like Uh, it's all in English, of course. It's dubbed. It's 65 episodes. It's a story about mankind discovering a crashed spaceship that they then convert into their own spaceship, and aliens get involved in war and romance and pop idols. And the story continues across like 3 generations. Like one arc will end, and the next arc will pick up with the kids of the main characters from that last arc. So it's a very interesting show, and
I
it
will
does not
watch it.
it does not hold back. Like for an anime released on American TV in the 80s, they were not afraid to let people like die on screen. Yeah, on Netflix, definitely check it out any way you can.
There you go. How did you find out about Robotech? I guess you know why you find out about everything.
It aired for a brief time on the Space Channel in 2007, I believe.
Interesting.
And I still had like more than basic cable back then, so I got to see it a few times. And then when I heard it was coming to Netflix, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm time to watch the whole thing.
Right, well, I will check out episode 1 of that. You check out episode 1 on YouTube of Maniac Mansion, and we'll report back and we'll tell people what we thought. That's fun.
Sounds good.
My mind is flooding with so many other recommendations that people
Oh,
might not have heard about.
I very easily could have picked an entirely different subject, but I'll save that for a different podcast.
Let's save that. Let's save that for the next podcast. But anyway.